Hi, this is Dr. Otto Janke for the New York Chiropractic Council. As we traverse this wonderful nation of chiropractic of ours, we want to get the biggest and best speakers for you, the leaders in our profession. We think we got a gem today. This is Dr. Neil Cohen from the mighty Sherman College of Chiropractic, all the way down there. Dr. Cohen, great to have you with us today.
Honor to be here, Dr. Janke. I'm so grateful that you invited me, and I'm always looking to talk about our wonderful profession. So
absolutely
excited this morning.
Absolutely. So how did you discover chiropractic, or did chiropractic discover you?
Well, it's a great question. Chiropractic discovered me. I had always wanted to make an impact with my career. Did not know what I wanted to do. And back in the day when I went to college in the 70s, it was, you went to college, you got a job, you were successful. But I also wanted to be joyful and happy. So I could not find my niche. And so I went to college for a couple of years. Then I dropped out. I started doing things I wanted to do. Believe it or not, I was a DJ. I used to customize cars. I did all kinds of things. And then I had met my beautiful wife. She was my girlfriend at the time, and she was going to a chiropractor.
Wow.
And she decided to take me along for a visit. And that day changed the trajectory of my life. I got my first adjustment, not even realizing that I needed an adjustment, not even knowing what chiropractic was about. But that particular adjustment was life-changing. And it was life-changing because my perception was that when I received that adjustment, it was like something fell off of my back that I'd been carrying my entire life. Huh. And I basically said, where have they been keeping this? Right. This is amazing. Right. And at the moment, I was 20 years old. I was ripe. I was ready to go back to college. So that day, I decided I was going to be a chiropractor. And I wrote away to all the colleges, used carbon paper. That was that long ago. and I decided to go to the school that was closest based on geographical location. And at the time, it was Life College, and it was a great choice. But I do say this to those that are out there that have prospective students that are within their purview: do not allow students to choose a chiropractic college solely based on geographical location. And we can talk about that more if you like. Well, unless they live in South Carolina, then it's
okay. then you use that adamantly. Use it right away, of course. I have handfuls of students come through my my practice on every semester. And I'm in upstate New York, and many of them choose upon proximity. And I ask them all to start looking at every college possible, because you don't know what the other ones have if the only one you choose is the one that's down there. Absolutely fantastic. So you're a Life College graduate. You practiced for, was it 28 years?
Yeah, give or take, a little bit more actually.
And then how did Sherman come and pick you up and say, excuse me, sir, we're going to tap you on the shoulder. We have a major mission for you to come and join us with?
Well, I wish I could say that was the selling point, but it really wasn't. Interestingly enough, I think we're called to be chiropractors. Yeah. And I think when you become intimate with the principal, when you live a principal life, when you marry the principal, really good things begin to happen to you. Yeah. And Ed Cordero and I were good friends prior to him going to Sherman College. And he told me one day that he was going to vie for the position of president. Well, long story short, a year and a half later, he got the position. And he realized when he came to Sherman College, and a lot of people don't know this, the school was in trouble. Yeah. It had been it had some challenges in previous years. And Ed Cordero got there and was told that if he didn't get this thing going, they were going to graduate out, they were going to sell the land, they were going to try to move the college to another place. And it just did not look good financially, did not look good from a student count perspective. So Cordero got on the dance floor, as he does so well, and he began to bring Sherman College to the world. Yep. That was the mission. And as he started to do that, we were in communication. He called me and he said, I need your help. He said, I want you to sell your practice. I want you to move up to South Carolina. We're going to do this thing together, and we're going to bring this thing to a different level. And it was funny. Without hesitation, I said, of course, yes, I'll do this. And went up there, and the rest is history. We've been together. He's been there almost 10 years. I've been there almost 9. And we've been incredibly blessed to be able to bring the school into this preeminent status. Everybody wants Sherman College graduates. We are so proud of the transformation of the campus that we've been able to accomplish as a leadership team through Dr. Edwin Cordero's vision.
Right.
The campus looks amazing. And frankly, it's never been better.
Right. Right. But, I think it's really one of the, let's be straight about this. One of the few, if not the only college that is teaching the 4 aspects of chiropractic: the art, the science, the philosophy, and the business. Putting all four of those to make the strongest table possible for success. I think it's the only one, and it shows. It shows.
Well, yes, and we're very grateful to have been practitioners. We were both successful in practice, and it's important to bring the strategies that you had in practice to an institution. Unfortunately, institutions think very differently, and they have to, than entrepreneurs and small businesses. And so we were able to bring some of our ideas. And one of the ideas that Dr. Cordero had is he said, listen, I lost a lot of money the first several years I was in practice. I was the first business owner in my family.
Right.
I was the first doctor. I was the first college graduate. And let's see what we can do to help these students get a running start. So when they get out of the gate, they have a greater opportunity to be successful. And it's so wonderful today because I believe that this generation of students is a lot smarter than we were, in the sense that there's so much information out there at the touch of their fingers, and we have social media, and they're very good at using that. So what Sherman's been able to do is incorporate some elective business classes and give them this running head start into the business world. And we're just so grateful that we were in practice and we were able to experience those challenges so we can give those opportunities to our students.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's, I tell you, I think it's one of the sexiest things I've heard about a college in many, many years, the opportunity for a student who comes out to have a basis for success. You can be a great adjuster. You and I both know. You can have the philosophy running deep. You can know the art, the science, and the philosophy. If you can't keep the lights on, it makes things really, really tough. And I just love what Sherman has done right there. What do you think the future of, let's start with the challenges. What do you think the biggest challenges for upcoming in chiropractic is?
Well, I think what we need to understand is that there is, and there always has been, an assault on pure chiropractic.
Yes. Yes.
We carry truth. We carry truth. We have, deductive principles. We have, we work with the greatest power in the universe, a power that's so great that science can't even quantify it. And what happens is that we're mixed up in a world, and the world teaches us different things about what success is. And sometimes core values wrap themselves up into money and different things. And there's nothing wrong with money. We want our chiropractors to be successful, all chiropractors to be successful, because money is going to allow the profession to propel forward. But what happens is we lose our identity. There's this insidious assault where we think, okay, we can attenuate this and we can do that, and then we become something other than chiropractic. So we have to really be strong and anchored in our identity. The other thing that chiropractors have to really get over is this desire for acceptance. what we do is very important, but yet there's so many chiropractors out there that they just want to be loved. They want to be accepted. And let's face it, many of us are feelings oriented folks.
Sure.
And we know we've got this amazing thing we can give people. And so we tend to want to devalue it in many ways, and let people know that they need it, but we'll give it to them. And really, we don't have a strategy. And I think a challenge within our profession is to create a strategy across the board. I mean, you go into a dental office, people know that, first of all, people don't really love to go into dental offices. That's the thing. People love to go into chiropractic offices, usually. And what we have, though, when we get to the dental office is they have processes, they have procedures, they have protocols. And if you could go from one dentist to another, they would be very similar. And I'm not suggesting that chiropractic should be similar in technique, but we should be similar in the business model. Our business model across the board is all over the place. So you've got people that don't really understand chiropractic. I mean, we hear it all the time. People go into a chiropractic office, never get adjusted. How does that happen?
Great question. That's a great question.
So my thought is we have to develop, if we want to move the needle, we have to develop strategies, and we have to basically define ourselves and keep that identity very, very strong. Because if we change that, then we become everything else, and we're not everything else. We're one thing. We're chiropractic. We locate, analyze, and correct vertebral subluxations. There are certain things adjunctively that can affect vertebral subluxations, environment and nutrition and all those different things. But we have to clearly define ourselves as chiropractors if we're going to move the needle.
Absolutely. I'm working on a paper right now to tell you about that shows, I call it the totality of chiropractic, and how one adjustment, these are all the things that happens to us. And I'm putting that together. We should have that published next couple of months. But one of the most phenomenal things we have is if we have great nutrition, we do so much better. If we have great exercise, we do better. Great sleep, all these things. But if we have a nervous system that's optimized, all those things we add on work better also.
Absolutely.
And you and I were talking about before how at times it seems difficult for people to understand, or actually chiropractors to understand. If the nervous system is rocking, so are you. Absolutely. What do you think the biggest opportunities? What do you think the biggest changes we're going to see in the next couple 5-10 years?
Well, I think what we have to look for in the next 5 or 10 years is to become more cohesive. We have to continue to be able to agree on the things that we agree on. Chiropractors have a tendency, and I think many of them are wounded. I think we are a wounded profession, and I think that we have not looked at the things we have failed at. And what we have to do is we have to rectify those things. We have to mitigate the mistakes in the past, and we have to continue to accept that we have challenges and figure out a way to get through those challenges. And one of the ways to get through the challenges is to, as I said before, clearly define who we are and create a cohesive network and a strategy to bring chiropractic into the coming years. And if we don't do that, my concern is that we could actually lose chiropractic. And I'll tell you why I say that. From an analytical perspective, from a numbers perspective, we only have about 15 to 20% at the high of our graduates that are going to vitalistic institutions, meaning that they're learning how to locate, analyze, and correct vertebral subluxations. You have 80 to 85% that are learning the mechanistic model. Right. I just spoke to a student, and I will keep the school out of the podcast, but he's got 1 year to go. And I asked him, I said, so how does your college, your chiropractic college, how do they feel about the term vertebral subluxation. Do they like it? Do they not like it? Do they not have an opinion? He says, oh, we don't use that term. And I said, really? He goes, we use the term somatic dysfunction. And so that, I get it. I get it. But again, there's the identification of chiropractic being attenuated. We have to grow our institutions in a way where we are all saying the same things.
Right.
So a person's going and getting a chiropractic education, but they're learning something other than vertebral subluxation. And we haven't even gotten to technique yet.
Right.
I mean, are they allowing them to adjust, or are they teaching them to be fearful of adjusting? I some of what I hear is that, it's more about referring out and diagnosing and doing all these things and being afraid to adjust the cervical spine, being very careful. I mean, we should all be very careful when we make an adjustment. Adjustment's a beautiful thing, but it's very specific and very scientific. But to put doubt and fear and discouragement in the minds of students, and to change the definitions of words, to empty them out of their chiropractic meaning and fill them with another meaning, to me, is a serious challenge. And those are the things that we have to work on. Otherwise, our future, because of only 15 to 20% of chiropractors being vitalistic, our future is in trouble. Let's look 25 years down the line. Dr. Otto, I don't know your age, but I would say 20 to 25 years down the line, you might not have the voice that you have today. I know I won't have the voice I have today. So what is that voice going to loudly say to the people of this world that are subluxated, that desperately need to have their nervous system checked and adjusted when necessary?
Right. Absolutely. I had a discussion a short time ago with somebody who said to me almost the same exact words, Dr. Cohen, that no one understands the term vertebral subluxation. But, somatic dysfunction makes things so much easier and clearer, doesn't it? I mean, I said, you got to be kidding me on that. When I graduated Palmer in 92, it was adjust first and see what, then we'll go from there. And I've been asked by students or people who've been out for 10 years or so, they say to me, well, you're rather fearless in adjusting. I said, no, not whatsoever. I am conservatively marching forward, knowing that a nervous system that's optimized, we just function better. And I think that's that, I wouldn't say courage, but that strength and the power of the adjustment is, as you said, I think it's being lost.
And I believe too that, and just listening to you, you have the heart of a servant. I think that to be a servant is a great calling. And when we serve humanity in such a way that we're able to free them, we're able to deliver them from the bondage of diagnosis of drugs. And I'm not suggesting we replace allopathy with chiropractic. That's not my suggestion. I think that it has its place. But what we have is we have to create servant mindset. We have to create that this is important. And one of the things that we have to do is teach people what they know about taking care of their teeth and taking care of their body. People exercise not necessarily because they like it, but because it's good for them. Right. People take care of their teeth and go to the dentist, not necessarily because it's a fun thing to do, but because it's good for them. We have not taught the population that chiropractic simply is good for you. And if they just knew it was good for you, that would be the most philosophy and the least philosophy they would really ever need to know. Why do you go to a chiropractor? What's wrong with you? Well, I just go because it's good for me. Right. And that opens up, well, why is it good for you? Now we can start talking about the profound negative effects of interference to the nervous system. Right. Absolutely. In my office, we put chiropractic on the same levels of great nutrition, exercise, great sleep, mental rest and focus. We put on the same parameters because
it's really, chiropractic is one of those things where if you do this one thing, you get all this stuff from it. Same thing with exercise. Same thing with great nutrition. I eat because I want to, well, lose weight, but I'm also decreasing cancer. I'm also increasing ability for my body to do all these other things. So it's one thing with this. Chiropractic is we're going to do this one adjustment and we get all this stuff from it. It's the most phenomenal thing ever. We're going to be talking about that later on, maybe about end of the year when I get the article published. What's the future of Sherman College of Chiropractic? What's the next 5 years look like?
Well, it's an interesting time in Sherman history right now. Dr. Cordero has been there 10 years.
Yep.
And in February, late February, he made the announcement that he elected not to sign a new contract with Sherman College. So right now, the board of directors is in the midst of starting a presidential search.
Yep.
And I'm sure the public will be hearing more about that
Yep.
in the coming weeks. And so Sherman will have a new president, it looks like in 2023. And Dr. Cordero is there until the end of the year. And I'm excited to serve under the new president and to continue to bring Sherman College to the world and adjust the world for a better future. It's an amazing thing when you are in leadership to serve on such a high level,
Sure.
because it gives you an opportunity to have a voice that you would only have within your community, which is important because I believe all chiropractors are leaders and they need to have that voice. But I'm just excited to be able to share and continue to share this thing that we call chiropractic that has helped so many people. So when you ask about the future, I'm not as sure as I was last year when Dr. Cordero was continuing.
But it's exciting time. President Cordero has done a monumental job, and as we talk many times in chiropractic, is we are here because we stand upon the shoulders of giants, and he has laid a foundation for Sherman, which has been monumental, and it's been literally giant in its time. How can we, as a practicing chiropractor, people out in the field, how can we help better Sherman? What can we do for Sherman and the next generation of students coming up?
Well, there are several things that can be done. And one of them, and of course, the word support comes up, but
right.
It's not always money that is what drives people. Certainly money is good and money makes the world go round. And most people don't know, but Sherman is a nonprofit institution. So
right.
we are very good stewards of the support money that we get. We have hundreds and hundreds of practicing chiropractors that are on our board of regents, and they give $100 a month to Sherman College. And that's an amazing thing. They can give any amount they want, but if in order to be on the board of regents, you give $100 each month. The other thing that you can do for Sherman College is send your prospective students to see the campus. Now, right. I say see the campus. You might think, well, why doesn't he say send your students to Sherman College to matriculate? Because it may not be the right place for them. We want them to come and be comfortable. We want right. them to see our campus, to meet our faculty, to know our culture, see the chiropractic community at Sherman. And believe me, it will sell itself. Right. Most people that get on campus fall in love. So I'm not worried. If we can get you there, you're going to love Sherman College. And if it's not the right place, that's okay too.
That's great. That's
rather
great.
Go to one of the other vitalistic schools. I say, enjoy your journey. That's amazing. Become the greatest chiropractor that you can be, and you'll get a good education there as well. Yep. So prospective students, dollars. The other thing that you can do is support the Sherman programs. Come to our Lyceum program the first weekend of May every year. We have 25 to 35 amazing speakers. Get your CE credits. We also have our ACP program, which is the Academy of Chiropractic Philosophers. That's done in modules, and it's done all over the world, actually. Some of the events are held at Sherman College, and it's tied in with our IRAPS program, yep. which is our International Research and Philosophy Symposium. We have that at the campus usually every October. We've been wrapping it into our Lyceum program this year. COVID has kind of caused us to pivot a little bit about different things, but we're fully on campus. Students are enjoying the experience. From what I know, it's a family. It's not perfect. There's some dysfunction. I'm not going to tell you it's utopia, but at the end of the day, we care about the future of chiropractic, and we want support from those that also care about the future of chiropractic.
Absolutely. The foundations that you have there in the art, the science, the philosophy, and the business is, I think it's really second to none in our profession. And I think it needs to be supported on a dramatic basis. Our guest today has been the one and only Dr. Neil Cohen, all the way from South Carolina. He is the man on campus at Sherman College of Chiropractic. I recommend you become friends with Dr. Cohen. You get to know him, ask him questions. He is as approachable here as you saw here on this Zoom, and he is in person. First time I met you, you came up to me and gave me a shirt because you saw me speak somewhere and you said, I got to meet this guy. Now that automatically usually puts a red flag in me when someone says, I got to meet me, because it's, now I'm thinking you might be as crazy as me. And I find out you're just as crazy as me because you love chiropractic just as much as I do. Dr. Cohen, any last comments from you?
Well, I just want to say thank you, not only to you, Dr. Janke, for having me on this podcast and give me an opportunity to have a voice, but I want to say thank you to those that are in our profession that are fighting every day. We are warriors, but we are doing something that is helping humanity, and humanity needs to be helped. We need to serve with a servant's heart. And I'm just so grateful for all of those up in the great Northeast. You know, I was born and raised in New York City. So that's my home. That's my original home. And I just want to say thank you to all your listeners and all of those that will listen to this podcast. We love and appreciate you very much.
Let's rock and roll with Sherman. This is my friend, Dr. Neil Cohen from Sherman College of Chiropractic, our guest today on the New York Chiropractic Council podcast. Dr. Cohen, thank you so much for your time, your love, and your expertise. You, my friend, keep carrying that torch high because it shows the way for others.